a random episode of a random Gerry Anderson show.
Gerry Anderson News, and a bit where I have to make an apology.
Oh, and I'll be interviewing the world's smallest stunt performer and MBE, Kiran Shah.
Ah.
The Gerry Anderson Podcast with Jamie Anderson, Richard James, and Chris Dale.
Tremble in fear, Terranians, he announced as if addressing the whole of humanity. Let the word go forth to every corner of creation that the mighty Titan, ruler of the underwater city of Titanica, will not rest until Marineville lies burning at his feet. Let Troy Tempest and his wretched flock know that their days are numbered. I'm getting there, yeah. And let all others who would oppose me be swept aside by the tide of time. Because this was only the beginning. As Titan's words finally gave way to maniacal laughter, X20 nodded supportively. It was the only thing he could think to do, because he didn't dare voice what he was thinking inside. That's what I was afraid of.
Oh, wow. You have been listening to...
Not really.
You're all right, thanks.
No.
Yeah, great. Well, Chris, what was that?
That was this.
Yes.
Which
It's
is
Stingray, the Titanic and Stratcham. We may have mentioned it on here before.
Once or twice.
written by...
Written by... it's by me.
Oh,
and
by
it's,
Christelle.
it's a vital chapter in our 60th anniversary Stingray saga, Deadly Uprising.
Is it?
And it's out now.
Amazing.
And a lot of people watching this will have theirs. And if they don't, I'm coming for you.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You're on
maybe
notice.
A bit less threatening, maybe, Chris? We're trying to be inclusive and
but,
welcoming.
it's gone to my head, you see.
Oh, right. He's
You
not
know how
one of
it
the
is.
law books, is he?
I quite like threatening, Chris.
Oh, by the way,
Oh, yes.
it's the Gerry Anderson Podcast.
Gerry Anderson Podcast.
It's pod
Hello.
332.
332.
How did that happen?
Wow.
I have got some comments to read out from our YouTube channel as well, because people, as you know, watch every week.
They do.
And some of them comment. Yeah, what? Priscilla Brown says, so sad to hear about David Graham.
Oh, yes.
I mean, this is the first time we've met, really, isn't it, since the news?
Yes.
So it's very sad.
Dear
It really
old
is coming
David.
to the end of an era, isn't it, says Priscilla. And Paul Kinnear says, I had no idea that David had passed, but then again, thanks to his work on Jerry's shows, David will actually live forever.
Here, here.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, what's true?
And
quite
not
a
just
thought.
Jerry shows, but so many other things as well.
Peppa
absolutely.
Pig,
Yeah.
Ben
Pig,
High's
yeah.
Kingdom, Doctor Who.
Doctor
I mean,
Who, Lumens.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
And finally, Pen Quiller says, lovely tribute to David Graham at the start from Jamie. Oh, and the cake looks delicious. Did you eat all of it? Yes, this is the cake for the...
The cake seems
thanks,
like
Ben.
ages ago.
It
now.
does, I know.
Yes,
It
These
was.
wonderful cakes.
Ah, yeah, they were delicious. I didn't take any home, did you?
I took quite a lot home.
Right.
And
Did you?
ate
Yes,
it.
so did I, yes.
Right.
But we didn't take it all home.
No, I'm regretting that now. I should have just taken the whole of Stingray and just gone, no, because Stingray was so delicious. It really was.
Oh, God. Quick, let's have some Gerry Anderson news.
No, more cake. All right, fine. News it is.
Right, Jamie.
It's the, no, hang on. We haven't got the bit.
No, we're not
bit.
doing that. No, you're in the naughty corner. We're not going to give you a newsy news this week
Really?
because you've
Is it
got
that bad?
You've got some
Someone's
explaining
been
to do.
very naughty, haven't they?
Yes, I didn't realise you'd... oh, no, you're talking about...
Oh, no, that's all right.
Space Precinct is
Go
how
on.
I've been naughty. Dear podcast listeners, I write to you with a great deal of contrition and sadness and embarrassment. I unfortunately announced the Space Precinct Blu-ray pre-order date prematurely.
Yes.
Jumped the gun, didn't you?
I did. I was just very excited. We're all very
Why not?
excited.
Yeah.
You jumped the police gun.
Yes,
Didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not available for pre-order yet at the date of the recording of this podcast or the output of it, and it will not be available until November sometime, probably, but I'm not holding myself or anyone else to that date.
Chris.
Yes. No, or Chris.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry about that. You haven't missed out. It's fine. It's still,
still coming.
coming.
Yeah.
It's looking amazing. Lovely new art to be
Yes.
revealed. Chris's incredibly long documentary.
Yes.
90 minutes?
90 minutes, I think. It
Maybe
could
over.
Could go longer, I don't know.
Amazing. Brilliant.
Yeah.
A feature
done.
documentary
Yes.
about Space Precinct and loads more stuff to be announced and
Great.
talked about in due course. Sorry about that. Got overexcited. And we
know
record
how it
well in
is.
advance, and sometimes we,
Yeah.
you know, have to move dates and stuff. So
Yeah. All right, we forgive you. As long as you've got
This
some
time.
real Gerry Anderson news.
I probably have some real Gerry Anderson news.
Go on then,
yes. Yeah. Okay. So it's the Gerry Anderson newsy news now.
News. Here we go. Yes.
Phew. Okay, well, which way? Should we? It's Stingray. It's all Stingray this week.
All right, okay.
Stingray.
Yeah.
So shall we start with technical stuff or
You mean the
fiction-y stuff?
Stingray Technical Operations Manual. Is there any news on this?
Yeah, so let's start with Stingray Project Orca.
Oh.
Stingray Project Orca, another chapter of the Stingray Deadly Uprising saga written by Bob Ayres, is going to be put on pre-order at the end of October and will be released on the 1st of November.
Ooh,
Amazing.
That's not long, is it?
It's very close.
Very
Yeah,
close.
a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and the hardback collector's editions will be signed. So if you've got a signed Titanic and Stratagem from Chris Dale,
Ooh, this is a rare unsigned one.
that is, but you
far
can't-
more valuable.
you can't have that. The signed editions will be available to pre-order very soon on the Gerry Anderson store. Project Orca introduces a brand new vehicle
Really?
to the world of Stingray.
Do you know about this?
Well, it's in the title.
I did wonder.
Yes, it's called the Orca.
Oh,
if you,
okay, right,
if
right.
you were not really
I
sure
see,
about that, but it's a lovely thing. Very exciting. Is Stingray going to be replaced?
What?
Surely
It's
not.
been 60 years.
It seems like it.
Wow.
So anyway, read on to find out more
Yes,
by
and this,
getting.
of course, follows on from the events of the last comic strip story in the first volume of the Stingray comic anthology, doesn't
Exactly.
it? It does. It
It's
does.
all the one big saga
Yeah.
called Deadly Uprising.
Intertwined.
There you go. That's Project Orca.
Great. But is there news about the Stingray Technical Operations Manual?
Well, nobody's asking about that, Richard. So I don't know why you're
I know.
mentioning it.
Sorry, I have no idea.
The Stingray Technical Operations Manual.
Yes.
Oh, are we having one?
We are having one.
Well, that's news to me.
Is it? Well, it's coming up for pre-order very soon. Now, as you know, we have special edition versions and standard edition versions because some people like the nice special one with all the extra bits and pieces. So the limited edition special will be going on pre-order on the 25th of October.
Right.
That's a Friday.
That's 5 days' time.
It's very
From
soon.
when this goes out.
Yes, you're right. The end of this week.
Yeah.
So if you want to get your hands on the special edition, then Friday is the time to plumb for.
Plum?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Aim for.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a kind of aquatic thing, but
Plum? Oh, as in plumb the depths.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the fruit.
no, I was thinking plumb the depths.
Like
but
Sheila Rimmer gave you on her... from her garden.
happy memories there. Anyway, yes, it's a beautiful thing. More Chris Thompson artwork, hundreds of pages, every explanation of every craft and bit of tech and alien race you can possibly imagine, including technical specs of stuff that has appeared in Deadly Uprising,
Like Orca.
Forever.
like Orca. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that. If you don't want the special edition or you don't manage to grab one, the standard edition will be available to pre-order later on.
But just in time for Christmas, I would hope.
But that's the aim, yes.
Yeah, great.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll do our very best.
We'll
but
plum for Christmas then, shall we?
We'll plum for Christmas. All right, thank you.
Yes,
That
good.
feels very festive.
And there's even more Stingray to come before Christmas, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Yes.
Other stuff to be
Yes.
talked about. Don't.
I'm just keeping the anticipation
I can
going.
tell.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
force me into a place where I have to announce something with the wrong
We want
date.
specific dates. Come on.
No more dates. That's it for now.
Wow.
We're
There
all
we are.
Stingrayed out.
All right.
So that's the end of this week's Gerry Anderson News.
Newsy, news.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
No.
Clever.
No,
Chris.
I
that
didn't
worked.
like that. That didn't feel right. to
No,
me,
no,
so-
that was good. We'll
I
keep
enjoyed
that.
it.
Now, coming up, we've got our randomiser, of course. Our guest this
yes.
week is Kiran Shah. He'll be pressing the big red button to see what we get this week.
Yes.
Also, we've got emails from our podsterons who've been emailing at podcast@gerryanderson.com. Mostly this week, of course, to mark the passing of David Graham.
Well,
Of course it is.
as we should give
Yeah,
that plenty
absolutely.
of time and breathing room and,
Yeah.
and some lovely reflections from our podsterons.
I mean, social media was abuzz with love for David Graham.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
It was lovely to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really nice.
It is
so many of
lovely.
our viewers had met him, as certainly you and I have. Had you met him?
Yeah, yes. In the King's Arms at Cookham.
Of course,
Yes.
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 The grand ceremony.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
Sweet. Anyway, all that to come. But in the meantime, would you like to see the first part of my interview with stunt performer extraordinaire and MBE Kiran Shah? Please?
Yeah.
As it's you.
Oh, thank goodness for that. Well, I have to say, what an enormous pleasure it is to welcome Kiran Shah MBE to the Gerry Anderson Podcast.
Thank you. No, it's my pleasure to be over here
Well,
talking to you.
Thank you so much. Such a wide, varied, and may I say, long career.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the award this year, the MBE, was the cherry on the cake?
Yeah, that's how we can pull it.
Yeah.
Put that with cherry on the cake. It
Yeah.
was something that I didn't expect, and it came out of the blue.
Right.
Like, wow, this is great.
What was the first you knew about it?
When I got the letter.
The letter.
Basically, when I got the letter, I got no idea who put my name up
Oh,
or
right.
wherever, and I still don't know because they won't tell me about
Yeah.
it. It's like, no, we can't tell you
Yeah.
who put your name up.
I see.
And all that, yeah.
Extraordinary. So you had your day at the palace, I guess?
Not yet. It's going to be on November 12th.
Is it?
Yeah.
Amazing. That's going to be
Yeah.
incredible. Well, I'm sure you'll be posting. I think it's your nephew does your social media and so on. Is that right?
All my social media, he does that.
Well, I'm sure there'll
Yeah.
be lots of pictures of the day
Yeah.
when it comes. Brilliant. Well, we're here not only to talk about your life and career and your times, but we have to give a little mention to Space Precinct. Gerry Anderson production, 1994, 95?
95.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. It was really funny. I get a call from the Pacific, the people
Yeah.
who are making the prosthetics and all that. And they were like going, we'll need you, Kiran, on this one episode. And would you be interested in coming in and doing it?
Yeah.
And it started from there.
Yes, and you ended up, I think, doing three episodes?
3 episodes.
Which would have been sort of 6 or 8 weeks, I guess.
Yeah. Not together, it looked like sporadic.
Yeah.
Spread out a little bit.
Yeah, at Pinewood Studios, of
At
course,
Pinewood
which
Studios.
must feel to you like a second home.
It is a second home. I started working with my first movie. Was there.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm fond of working at Pinewood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in a strange situation in a way, because perhaps it's fair to say people may not know your face, but they would almost certainly have seen you in their favourite movies over the years.
Over the years, they have, and when they realized it, and they went, oh,
Yes.
my God, we didn't know that you were in that.
Absolutely.
And it was like, you've done that, and you've done that. And so, it's like, yeah.
Extraordinary. So
Yeah.
I think you've been in most of the Star Wars films.
Yep.
You play children in Titanic, is that right?
Yeah, well, played in a sense that I ended up doing a lot of stunts.
Yes.
Basically, remember when in the lifeboat
Yes.
with the girl with the main actor?
Ah.
Yeah. So when they did the close-up of the girl and they went, okay, like,
Aha.
Leave her alone now.
Yeah.
Kiran, can you get in there and go? The
Amazing.
rest of the stuff was that. Or with the boy, that Leonardo had to pick up.
Yeah.
And then the father comes and grabs the boy.
Oh, yes, right.
Yeah, and I ended up being bad and getting hit by the water, still being held by the father really tight.
Wow.
And I did about 4 or 5 takes of that.
Wow.
And then Simon Kren went, right, jacket, Kiran.
Okay.
You can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
So we are going to put the dummy now.
Oh, wow. And is it true you can't swim?
I can't swim. Give me your wetsuit
Typical.
and I'm happy. Because I know that with the wetsuit, I will always
Yeah.
float up. Whatever happens,
Right.
I will float up.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So, at the very beginning of our interviews, we like to play a little game with our guests. I'm going to show you.
Oh, you
I
didn't tell me
I know.
that.
I didn't. I know.
Right.
I'm going to show you very, very quick clips from the opening credits of every one of Gerry Anderson's series. And there are 18 of them from the 1950s through to the early 2000s.
Exactly, yeah.
And we just play a little game with our guests just to see how many they recognise. Now, it's not a competition. You'll see it on the front here. We've had previous guests. Some have got 1, none. Some have got all 18. Just a bit of fun. So 1950s here.
No, I
No.
won't listen there.
Before both of our time, I think.
Yeah.
Still black and white for the second one.
Yeah. No.
It's about now that some people start to recognise 1 or 2. So we'll see how you go.
For action.
Into colour.
Seen that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stingray.
Stingray.
Good.
Seen quite a lot of Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds, of course.
Yeah, quite
Good.
a lot.
Very quick one there.
was in there? I can't remember what.
Yeah. There are just so many of them.
Yeah.
And now we're into his live action series.
Yeah, the space something.
Coming up,
It's in there.
Space 1999,
Yeah.
that one, which I
Yeah,
think you
I've seen
recognised. That's your Space Precinct.
Yeah.
Place of legend,
Yeah.
fabled right across the universe.
And finally, there we go, that's new Captain Scarlet. There we are, that's
Yeah.
all of them.
Go. I think I scored about 3 or 4.
I'm going to give you 4, Kieran.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 4. Certainly you recognise Stingray and Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Space Precinct, I think, was in there. And also Space 1999.
99,
That's
because I'm
right.
quite fond of
yeah.
Space 99.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So there we
And I
go.
wanted to work on it.
Didn't we all? There's your 4, look. And there you are as a little Thunderbird doll. So that'll go on the
Thank
side of the table. So let's go back then if we can. So you were born in Kenya.
Yeah.
What was life like for you as a child?
So I live a really happy life.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, my mom and dad never let me feel that I was different.
Uh-huh.
They went, you're like anybody else.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit smaller,
Yeah.
but you're like everybody else. So
Yeah.
they kept me calm and, let me do and give they gave me quite a lot of independence.
Ah, fantastic.
yeah.
That's a great attitude to have,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think without that early encouragement, perhaps you wouldn't have had the career that you ended up with? Or is that overstating it, do you think?
Might be overstating it, but I would reckon that because they gave me that encouragement.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I used to watch quite a lot of Bollywood movies. And then Saturday morning, English movies, premieres, American or English, with my friend, a guy called Pankaj.
Uh-huh.
He was my cousin as well, in Kenya.
Yeah.
And when I started watching all these movies and all that, and I went, I want to be like that.
Really?
And but what happened was, suddenly I found out that I can mimic people.
Uh-huh.
Their walks, their mannerisms, I can make it bigger
Yeah.
and funnier.
Yeah.
So I used to do that and make people laugh on the streets.
Interesting.
Taking off my uncles.
I can imagine.
And when
yeah.
they found out,
Yeah.
and I thought, okay, I'll be in trouble, but I wasn't. They went, okay, do me now.
Amazing. So you found your audience at a young
Yeah, I
age,
found
then, really?
my audience at a young age.
Did you really believe that you could make that leap to being a professional performer?
In Kenya, it was a dream. And there was no industry as such.
I see.
In Kenya, there was a little bit of Kenyan TV there, but nothing much.
Right.
Then I ended up in India in '69. Me and my mom and dad were going to, stay there permanently.
Uh-huh.
Went there and I found out that one of my uncle had a general store in a little area in Bombay called Juhu,
Right.
where all these people were living, the directors, the Indian actors and
I
all
see.
that. And they used to deliver the groceries and all that stuff and alcohol under the table. At that
course.
time,
Yeah.
alcohol was, Bombay was dry.
Ah, really?
People were not meant to, but
But they did.
They used to supply
They
that.
found ways, yes.
Exactly. And I asked my uncle, when you make the rounds, can I, go with them? And my uncle went, yeah.
I see.
And I started meeting people there, Dharmendra, Emma Malini, few other actors.
Right.
And I met your director there, and one day he went, maybe I've got a movie for you. And I went, okay, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
And but what happened was that my dad couldn't stand the weather in
Really?
India.
Yeah.
And he was sick and throwing up every day.
Oh.
So my brother was, husband was already over here in London.
I see.
He came in '65.
Uh-huh.
He was here. And my dad decided that, he'll join my brother and stay. What it feels like.
Right.
And when he came and he was well, and he went, you guys can come up. So I had to give up my dream there
Yeah.
and had to be in London.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Which was just the right place to be, I guess. Right time, right place.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But we had to give up that dream in India and come
Yeah.
here, yeah.
Yeah, so did you feel in a way you were leaving something behind?
Yeah.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
But how soon then, after you'd moved to London, did you start to get the feeling
Right.
that there might be work here?
Right. What happened was I came into London in July 1970. And what happened was in 1973, I picked up a magazine called Time Out for the first time.
Yes. Yes,
I
remember
think
Time
in
Out.
August or something like that. And at that time, at the back of the page, was a theatre board for fringe theatre companies.
Yeah.
In advertising, we are looking for this and that.
Yeah.
And I saw an advert of a theatre company called Red Buddha Theatre Company.
Okay.
It's a Japanese theatre company.
Yeah.
And they were looking for, all kinds of people, small, tall, big, fat,
Right.
whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. Jugglers, mime, clowns, whatever. And calling them up. And I got my audition. I did the audition.
Right.
And they gave me a recall
Yeah.
after a week or 2 weeks. And I did the recall. And just Yamasta, who owned the company, who started Red Buddha, he went, right, can you become angry? And I'm going, how do I do that? I'm not a trained actor or anything like
Right,
that.
yeah.
And I was what, 15, 16.
Really?
Nearly 16,
So
going
young.
to become 17, right?
Yeah.
And what happened was, okay, at the back of the whole hall, I went back and I started screaming and all that. And I really got into it. And
Great.
I went to his table and started clearing his, and then jumped on the table and kicking everything off and all that. And I think about to hit him or punch him. And he went, okay, right.
Wow.
Right, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
And I got a call.
I should
And
imagine
went,
you
yeah.
did. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
A brave thing to do for a young actor.
Young actor without thinking what
Yeah.
he's doing. Put
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah, fascinating. That's fantastic. Now, earlier on in the week, I had a brief email exchange with your nephew, who I think is your manager, is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I asked him what your first Anderson memory was. So, as we've just learned, you spent your early years in Kenya. But when you got to London, then you obviously were picking something up because this is your first Anderson memory. Let's have a
Yeah.
look at this.
Like a brilliant character.
Yeah, exactly. Timeless, isn't it?
Yeah.
Parker calling Feb 1. Can you hear me, my lad?
Parker from Fab 1, loud and clear.
I Mr. Grafton is called to see you, my lady.
Very good, Parker. I'm afraid I may be a little late.
Oh, no trouble, I hope, my lady.
Afraid so. I'm being tailed. It may take some time to lose them. Meanwhile, make my excuses to Mr. Croft.
Yes, my lady. And good luck.
There we go. The iconic duo of Parker and Lady Penelope.
That was like a double act.
Absolutely.
And it was a brilliant double act,
Yeah.
the way, you work with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's completely understandable why they are so memorable, isn't
Yeah.
it? And sadly, of course, David Graham, who voiced Parker, just
He
died
passed
a couple of
away,
weeks ago.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when were you first aware of Gerry Anderson? Can you think
I
back?
think in 1970,
Yeah.
we were renting a room. And downstairs in the lounge, there was the people we were renting from, watching their television.
Yeah.
And so that the first time, I think in 2 or 3 weeks, being
Right.
in London,
Right.
I went, wow,
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
Because
Right.
so different probably to
Yeah.
anything you'd seen before with
Yeah.
the puppetry and the models.
Puppetry, in a sense that I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Puppetry, puppets, but something that controlled by, what do you call
The
it?
strings,
Strings
that's
and all
right.
that, yeah.
And also, I should imagine it appealed to you, to young Kiran, who was falling in love with film, because they are very filmic. Those episodes are
Yeah,
like little
exactly.
movies, aren't they?
Exactly, and they've got such a good humour.
Yeah, that's
in
right.
it.
Yeah, exactly. So you found yourself in London.
Yeah.
You found yourself on the stage then. Was that a tour that you were...
Yeah, I ended up going out. It was a tour for Italy.
Oh.
So it was around, in the winter time.
Yeah.
Around Christmas time as well. We ended up in December in Rome.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. But what happened was, because being 17 or 16, going to turn into 17 in September, and it was like going, there was an actor called Day March, and he turned around to Stonewall, and he went, Kiran is underage, and you will need a permission from his school and everything. And I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
And then everything was done, and I had to take a letter from Stomo to my principal and give it to him.
Right.
And my principal was like going, you want to go be an actor? And I went, yeah, that's my dream. And he wanted to do this play. Yeah, I wanted to do this mime, opera, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I went, I want to do that. And how do you treat that? And I went, public my work experience.
Yeah.
Right? And he went, okay, I'll let you go.
Great.
You're going to miss out on your mock or levels. But when you come back, you'll have to sit on your own and do the mock or levels afterwards.
Okay, which you did, I guess, in the
I
end.
did.
I see.
But I had a really fun time in Italy, full of traveling. And it was this, Stomo Master, in a sense, became quite a big name coming from Japan, and it was a story of a day in the life of Hiroshima and then the bomb.
Wow, right.
So it was all about waking up at 5 o'clock, and me and this other actor, we were setting up the storyline of this early morning, and then after a while, people coming into the restaurant and setting all that up and all that. So we were kind of narrating the story in mime.
Yeah.
But when I started with Red Buddha, that's when I learned to work with the mask, because Tomo was really interested in going, that you got something, Kiran. I can't put my finger on that, but you got something. So start learning with other actors about mime, about juggling, about mask, work with the mask, and see what happens. And first time he gave me the mask, and I'm about to pour it in, but no, you can't do that. Put it on the table and study and find things, and took me quite a few days to find, a wrinkle and stuff like that, or a pimple.
How interesting.
And then you start leading from what you see.
Yeah. Now, are you able to crystallize in a few thoughts or sentences what working in a mask is like and how it's different to acting, as it were, without a mask?
Okay, with those masks, you got two-dimensional fixed expression mask, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't do anything more with your body work.
Yeah.
And you study the mask, and you can see a big smile, and you think, okay, I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do, and inside, I will be adding that, because you have to go with that. If you don't, then it's going to be nothing.
It's not truthful in a way, that's right.
Because once you find things, apart from the smile, you find little pimple on the nose, and you go, okay, 2 things I can work with now. And then 3, 4, you find quite a lot once you start studying. And then you still can't put it on, and you have to play with it.
Right.
In your hand, and looking at the mask and see that.
Amazing.
And once you work out what the expressions are happening, sadness, anger, whatever, and then in front of the mirror, and you start doing that, and you're watching the mirror, and you go, and then one day you're going, and you start moving with the mask. And once you know exactly what you are doing with the mask now, then you put it on, and then you get into the character. You can double up, you can do anything.
Amazing. So it's a real journey getting
It's
to
a
know that
journey.
character,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, because now we are talking about prosthetic mask.
Yeah.
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 You've been in that.
Yeah.
Right, and you know, prosthetic
Yeah.
mask is like, until it goes on your face and they color it properly and everything, that's when you see what's going to happen.
Yes.
Otherwise, you don't know what it's going to be. Right?
No, that's right.
And so we have to figure out when we are testing the mask.
Yeah.
And they put the mask on, they color it, and whatever. And then you start playing before you do a show and tell to a director. And I just give me about 2-3 hours. Get this mask now. You guys can go away. You can go.
Yeah.
And let me be in front of the mirror and I start playing.
Ah, interesting.
I start playing with the mask and see what I can do with it.
Amazing how that early experience has informed much of your career. I know you haven't just done mask work by any means, but it's certainly formed a large part of your career.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the animatronic masks that have the moving eyes do they take away something from the power of the actor to perform? Do you think?
Again, it's a simple thing. Before you put the mask on, with the puppeteer, you ask him, right, set that up on my head cast.
Yeah.
Now let's see what the expressions are going to be.
Yeah.
Because he will start playing
Yeah.
and he'll give you all the expressions the mask can go through.
Yeah.
Once you read the script and you know what your character is going to do, then you think, okay, I can use that, I can use that.
Yeah.
And go every day when you are going to go through a setup. I talk with my puppeteer. Okay, this is what I want.
Okay,
This is the dialogue.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to go.
Yeah.
And this is the expression I think we will go for.
Yeah.
And we start working, and then we start rehearsing and get it right and sync everything together.
Amazing.
And once you sync everything together, then you can work together really well. Just in this person, you can give me the body language.
Yeah.
Using your hands, using your body,
Yeah.
and you can. That's what you're going to do for anatomic mask.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to use your face,
That's
but
right.
inside, you're
You're
still
still
playing with
doing
your
it.
face to do that.
Extraordinary. That's amazing. So you're known for playing many strange and wonderful creatures. But there's one particular role that I always shout at the TV whenever I see you, when they show this particular film over Christmas usually. And I say, it's Kiran Shah! And it's one of your earlier jobs. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
So let's have a little look at this.
Bringing back memories.
The dates.
I can't figure out how Bellick did it. Where do you get a copy of the headpiece? There are no pictures, no duplicates of it anywhere.
I tell you only what I saw with my own eyes. A headpiece like that one, except round the edges, which were rougher. In the center, the Frenchman had invented a crystal, and surrounding the crystal, on one side, there were raised markings, just like that one.
Kiran Shah. I mean, if I had just done that one scene in that one movie, I think I'd be a very happy man and not worry too much about whatever happened in the rest of my life. Extraordinary. How old were you there? Gosh, 80s, I think?
It came out in 1981, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I filmed it in 1980.
Right.
And I was working on Dark Crystal at the same time. We were rehearsing. I started on Dark Crystal in 79, middle of 79, with Tim Henson and Frank Oz. And then started working with other puppeteers as well, but not full time.
I see.
And still in 1980, wasn't full time. There were like days when I wasn't needed,
Right.
and all that
Yeah.
on the crystal.
Yeah.
And one day I got a call from my agent at that time. You're going to go to Ulster Studios, see Steven Spielberg for Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
We didn't
Which
know
no one
anything
knew.
No one knew anything about it. So I went in there and I got on the sound stage where I was supposed to be. And the first AD and second AD came, Kiran, in the corner. No, before you go to say, Stephen.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, that's fine. And I went, if Stephen asks you, has your face been seen on the screen? Just say no.
Uh-huh.
And my face had been seen
Ah.
on one movie at
Okay.
that time, on People That I Forgot.
Okay.
And I went, but, and he went, don't mention that, mention about Superman.
Okay, yes, of
Talk
course.
about
Which we also need to talk
Superman,
about, yes.
And go, I did. And go, when I did that. And I got the part.
Amazing.
And he was looking for a Pacific unknown, completely unknown
Yes,
actor for
I
that.
see. Yeah, it's a lovely, it's an iconic
Yeah.
scene, that one with the
Very,
dates and the monkey.
very.
Yeah, it's lovely. You mentioned it there. We must talk about Superman, of course. Superman 1 and 2, I think.
I did, yeah, well, mostly number one.
Yeah.
Because I ended up working on Superman as this stunt flying double
Okay.
to make him look in the distance.
Aha.
In other words, scale work.
I see.
Right.
Yeah.
To
Okay.
make him look smaller
Yeah.
in the distance. Yeah.
And I read a lovely story about both you and Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve stealing a cigarette from you, and you both going and he was 6 foot something, wasn't he?
Yeah, and big and
And there you both
cracked
are.
up, yeah. Started smoking, we did that.
You got to know him, I guess,
Yeah, I
to some
got to
degree.
know him quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun to work with
Yeah.
him. And it was really great.
Yeah.
To work with him. He was really good about that. Paul Weston was coordinating the flying unit.
Uh-huh.
I never done wire work before.
Right, yeah.
Paul and the stunt team and the riggers, wire riggers, went, okay, this is how we work with the wires. They taught me everything.
Yeah, amazing. So learning on the job, really.
Stunts wise, I've done that. Learn everything on the job. Everything, fencing.
Yeah.
I can't swim, but I can still do scuba
Yeah.
in the water,
Yeah.
water tank and stuff like that.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, we have some questions here from our viewers and listeners. So, can I ask you a few from the box? This is our Space 1999 lunchbox.
Oh, that's
there you
nice.
go. Yeah, that's right. So, I'll take a few out of here, and then we'll have some more next week. All right. So, we have Gary Hodgkinson, who says, "Hi, Kiran. Which franchise has been your favourite to be in?" So, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Lord of the Rings, that we'll talk about as well.
I cannot really separate any of the franchise like that. Because every franchise I worked on, I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
It's been, different thing,
Yeah.
different looks and whatever. But I really enjoyed working on all of the franchises I've done.
Yeah.
I think I've done about 7 franchises.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What is it you love about your work in particular, do you think?
Because, if I was going to be a straight actor with my own face, it would be Kiran Shah. Right? But with this anatomic mask.
You could be anything.
Prosthetic, I
yeah.
can be anything.
I see.
And especially, being monsters and creatures and,
Yeah.
little kids or whatever. But
Yeah.
I have enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, next week we'll take a look at a trailer for a new film in which you are Kiran Shah.
Thank you.
And not in a mask. Paul Hyder says, "Hi, Kiran. Many congratulations on your MBE. Well deserved. What did it mean to you to be recognised in this way?"
Well, funny thing is, I never thought I would get something like that anyway. You never even think about it.
Sure.
And suddenly you get a letter out of a blue.
Yeah.
And you go, me?
Yeah.
And you go, no, it's wrong. And you read it again. And you go,
Incredible.
it's wrong. And then you get excited.
Yeah.
And then you think, why?
Have they made a mistake?
Yeah. But then you read the letter properly. It says, for the services for the film industry.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I've been recognized for what I've done in the industry.
Absolutely.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah, so well deserved as well.
And the funny thing is, when I read it, I was upstairs in my bedroom. And then within 5 minutes, I went downstairs to my brother and went, look what we got. I got MBE. And he was like, what?
Yeah.
And he read it about a few times as well.
Incredible. What's it going to look like? I mean, I guess you get a ribbon with
A ribbon with a
medal of some
yeah.
sort, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm going to go in November.
Yeah, fantastic. Steve Bushell says, hi, Kiran, a legendary actor who is obviously well regarded by the industry. What a joyful career as well. Do you enjoy the anonymity that wearing costumes has given you?
Yeah.
Interesting,
Because I
isn't
can
it?
walk around the streets.
Yeah.
I can be me.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
Knowing that I've done so much work, and yet there are very few people
Yeah.
who knows me.
Yeah.
I mean, I do get surrounded now and
Yes,
then.
of course. I'm sure you do.
But
Yeah.
a lot of the time, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
me. And I can walk around.
Yeah, incredible. And continuing to work as well. That's the inspiring thing. So how
I'm
long has
still
your
working.
career been now?
I started in 1976.
Okay.
Going, what, nearly
That's
50
it.
years.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not bad going, is it?
No.
Let's have a quick look, as we're on the Gerry Anderson podcast, of some of your work from Space Precinct. This is you as the daughter of one of the regular
Yeah,
aliens.
what was the name of the character?
Estes, I think.
Estes,
Do you remember?
Yeah, Estes, yeah.
And
Because-
she's being plagued by nightmares, as we'll
Yeah.
see.
Honey, what's the matter?
It's okay, sweetheart. It's just another bad dream.
Mommy and Daddy would never let anything bad happen to you.
So you know, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Well, very dramatic.
That was, I mean, it was funny because, again, there was no audition, no interview for this character.
Sure.
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot for you?
Yeah, quite a lot because
Yeah.
the workshop people,
Yeah.
they put my name in.
Absolutely.
And we got this guy, you can do it.
Yeah.
I go, yeah.
So a lot of us who've worked in masks, to a greater extent than others, we go through that life cast process
Yeah.
where they make a mould of our
Yeah.
head, essentially. Do you have to go through that continually, or do you have your own head somewhere?
No, I haven't. I mean, your face changes over the years.
True.
It could be done again and again and
Yes.
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to go through it, but I love that.
Yeah.
Because one thing is like, I'm getting a beauty treatment. You know, when you come out of it,
It
your
does feel like
skin
that.
it go
Yeah.
silky and stuff like that.
That's right. But a lot of people find that very difficult, that whole process. It can be quite claustrophobic.
The first time I did it for the Superman, and they put the straws in
Oh, yeah.
on my nose. And I went, after a while, can we get that off? And
Yeah.
they went, but how will you breathe? And then the makeup guy went, yeah, we'll give you a little hole so you can breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
And it worked that way. And
Yeah.
since then, I've done it that way.
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, probably thousands of times, I would think.
And now, you get 3D scanned.
Yeah, right.
Now,
Of course.
that doesn't happen anymore.
Oh, God, that's amazing, isn't it? How things have changed. Wow.
Yeah.
Kieran, thank you so much for joining us this week. Will you come back next week? We'll answer some more questions from our viewers and listeners and have a look at a few more clips, if we may.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That'll be my
See you
pleasure.
then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
The wonderful and extraordinary Kiran Shah.
yes.
What a life and what a
can
career.
say that.
And how...
How different from how he appeared on Space Precinct.
Well, yes, thankfully.
Yes.
Sort of makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but how wonderful that he was recognised for his contributions to British cinema.
That's amazing.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
such a wide array of roles.
Indeed. And more from Kiran next week.
Excellent.
In the meantime, talking of excellent, I think it's time that we heard from our excellent podsterons. That's you, that's our listeners and viewers, because they've been emailing, and I do feel we should read some out.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Beautiful segue.
Yeah.
This is the voice of the Podsterons.
Yes, it's the voice of the podsterons. It's almost as if our listeners and viewers reach out to us and talk to us, and we talk back to them. Yeah.
We
engage
with these voices from beyond.
That's right. Yeah. It's great, isn't it? Now, as I said earlier, many emails about the passing of David Graham, of course. So, Chris, do you want to take the first one there?
I shall indeed, yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Jamie, Richard, Chris,
and
Podsterons. When I heard the news about David Graham's passing, I was heartbroken like a lot of fans. To me, it feels like only yesterday that I was talking to David along with Shane and Matt. Thanks to my friend who called me from an Anderson convention. I got my younger sister to break to my niece and nephew as they are fans of Peppa Pig. She played Grandpa Pig and other characters. Nephew didn't understand, but my niece did, and she said to me, Auntie Emma, David won't want to see the fans crying. He would want them to carry on watching Thunderbirds and Peppa Pig. She is right. And those words were coming from a 5-year-old. All the cast of the original Thunderbirds might be gone, but they will never be forgotten. Thank you, David Graham, for making my childhood and my niece and nephew's childhood fun. From Emma Nichols.
That's nice.
I mean, it's amazing to watch my nieces watching Peppa Pig and seeing David's voice on there and realising when I was their age, I was a kid watching his voice on Thunderbirds. And when my parents were kids, Thunderbirds was going out for the first time, and Doctor Who and so on. It is a voice that touches generations. It's amazing. Very few people can make that claim.
And yet quite a humble man, actually.
Oh, very.
From my experience.
Yeah.
You know?
Very proud of the work he did.
Quite right.
But
Hi, Chris, Jamie and Richard. I don't normally get too emotional, says Philip, when learning about when we lose people in the acting or entertainment industry. But when I heard of the passing of David Graham, I did cry. And then looking up from the TV to my big Chief Parker figure, that really made my tears flow. As he brought so much joy and happiness by just being fantastic at his craft. I've never met him, but from the way you all talk about him, he sounded like a very charming and kind man who always gave 100%. He did, Philip, that's true. And we could hear that in his work, and being able to play Parker in the original and the remake of Thunderbirds 50 years apart is a testament to how brilliant he was. That's right. Just before I heard the news, I was in the process of making an air-fixed tiger moth that I saw in my local Lidl, as I had just done the Fireflash kit and really enjoyed putting it together, and I wanted to do something else from Thunderbirds, but the other kits were out of stock. Bear with me. I had already got the colours from the Fireflash, so I thought of making Thunderbird 6. So I dedicate this model to the memory of David Graham, who brought so many great memories to all of us. And here it is. Nice. There's a picture of Philip's model of Thunderbird 6. Isn't that clever? Lovely, isn't it?
Nice thing.
That's a nice thought. Yeah, well done, Philip. And one here for you, Jamie.
This is from Hannah, and Hannah says, Hi, Jamie, Chris and Richard. Another part of my youth has left me. That's very true. Very sad. I was absolutely heartbroken when I heard that David Graham had passed away, and what makes it even sadder is that I never got the chance to meet him. He was a remarkable man with such a gifted talent and an extraordinary career.
Yeah.
Quite right.
Yeah.
I had no idea that he voiced so many other characters in not just Thunderbirds, but all those other shows that came before it. I loved him as Parker and Gordon Tracy, also as Dr. Beaker from Supercar and Matthew Massick from Fireball XL5. He gave me so much joy and laughter as a child, and now as a full-grown adult, he still does. I have no doubt he still will for years to come, as long as we keep our love, work and support for Anderson going. Thanks so much, David. May you rest in peace. From Hannah. Isn't that lovely? What a nice message. Thank you, Hannah.
I mean, you know, David Graham started his life before television was even thought of. That's right.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I suppose so.
In
That's
the 1920s.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah. And yet became, so associated with the medium.
Part of it.
Absolutely. It's extraordinary. And there is one here as well. This is a rather long one from Jeff, who says, Dear J, R and C. You see how he's trying to keep that bit brief?
Smart.
I have a something to tell that happened on my birthday. I'm writing because if it gets read, I can surprise my lovely wife Lavinia by showing her this broadcast and telling our story.
Do we want to show this then?
Yeah, no, I think we're okay. Yeah, I think it's fine. I have read ahead. Sorry, Jeff, if this is a bit late. I think this came in a few weeks ago. I have collected annuals since I was a kid, and over time, prior to eBay, collected all the Anderson releases except one, the Fireball XL5 1965 edition.
Oof.
At one time in history, I thought I'd bought it until the seller showed me the cover of a different edition. A good friend had a copy and was willing to do a trade for a spare I had of the 63 edition. Extreme joy was soon short-lived when he contacted me to say he'd made an error and already had the annual I traded him. Come on. Could we please swap back? I could not refuse, as much as I really wanted to say differently. That day was over 20 years ago, and I gave up trying after that. With eBay, I would occasionally look, but it was uncommon to see the 65 listed. On the rare occasion it was, the general high price and considerable eBay global postage fees couldn't justify making the expensive commitment to fill a gap on the bookshelf. It is tough, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, it can be very expensive.
Absolutely. I referenced my birthday as it was that day that a wish was fulfilled. Underneath the present wrapping, there it was. My wife Lavinia told me that she had remembered me lamenting the missing annual I gave up on. She checked to make sure to look for the right one by noting the pictures on the other annual covers to deduce the one I didn't have. Looking up Google Shopping, she saw a listing on Etsy. Don't they just do handcrafted things and not vintage books? It was an online store in the Netherlands. Would this book be in Dutch? Never having purchased off Etsy, she hoped it was not some sort of scam. They were offering free postage, which helped cost a lot.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Not only did it arrive safely to Australia, but they also included a postcard thanking her for the purchase. It's in excellent condition, and whilst I got a Captain Scarlet pin as a present as well, nothing more could have touched me for the one present I could never have guessed. Thanks to her shopping skills, I had one of the best presents an old Ander fan like myself could have hoped for. Best regards to you all, and the behind-the-scenes crew. Well, there he is.
There he is.
Yeah. All right, Ross. Cheers, Jeff Tilley. Well done, Jeff.
Nice. Well done, Lavinia.
Well done, Lavinia.
Don't say well done, Jeff. Jeff completely failed at every stage of this process.
That's true, yeah.
It took Lavinia to make a success of
As it so often does. The Lavinias of this world.
Yeah.
Where would we be without them?
Behind every great Ander fan is an even greater wife.
An even greater Lavinia.
Yes.
All for now on that rather lovely note, but do keep your emails coming in, podcast@gerryanderson.com, and we'll be sure to read them out next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, a little earlier on, I don't know if you noticed, but I had someone rather special around the interview table. Only our second MBE, I think, in the 331 pods we've done so far.
Oh, we've managed.
Wow.
Doesn't say much for the calibre of our guests, does it?
Who's the other one?
I think it was Morris Bright.
Yes, he's an MBE.
Unless there's someone else.
We haven't had any sirs, have we?
No, not yet.
Sir John Coleshaw?
Well, in his dreams, yeah. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is he pressed the big red button to see what we get on the randomiser. He did. Should we see how he did?
Please.
Over to you, Kieran.
Ready, guys? 3, 2, 1.
Thank you so much, Kieran. Off we go through the black and white stuff. Well. There.
Strong
that
choice.
Hasn't happened for a while. No.
Stone Cold Classic.
It's Thunderbirds.
Tell us all about Thunderbirds in 3.7 seconds. Go.
Why bother? Everyone knows all about it already anyway.
Wow.
Perfectly right.
Yeah.
Nailed it in 3.7 seconds.
And if they don't,
yeah.
What are you doing here?
yeah.
We're watching Attack of the Alligators in 2 parts, both this week and next week.
We're going to start with part 1.
Shall we?
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Specs on.
Specs on.
Oh,
There we go. It's like comfort food, isn't it? One.
Oh, yeah.
Jump cut.
Is there a more perfect opening few seconds of any Anderson
Stingray?
show?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of competition.
Yeah, a lot of competition.
No, but I still think it's perfect.
Oh.
It's a great array of opening shots, actually. Oh, a bit of a repeat, though, on the old beaker of fluid.
Yes. And we've got some alligators as well.
Hooray! I have to say, best theme ever? Maybe not best opening titles, lots of competition, but best theme?
I don't know. It's like choosing, which is your favourite finger. It's kind of where do you even?
Well,
no.
Yes, all right.
That's an interesting analogy, Chris. Yeah,
I was going to say which of your children is, most
yeah, well, which
precious
of
to
my
you,
dogs? Again,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's easiest to choose the lower ranking
but-
one.
And then there's a little runt called Joe that you're not all that.
Oh yeah,
fussed
no,
about.
I've rehomed him. So no, well, as John Coleshaw has said before, if this had been written a few centuries earlier, it would be our national anthem.
Absolutely, yeah. There's still time.
Yes.
We can get a revolution
I
sorted.
mean, petition.
Could happen.
Yeah, a good old petition. That
Yeah,
always works. Yeah.
we can put it on the government petitions website and get it started for the 50th, for the 60th anniversary.
What do we need, 100,000?
Yeah, to get it debated in
Signatories.
Parliament.
Nice.
Oh,
Let's try.
come on, Jamie, let's do that.
Okay.
Anywho,
Oh, yes,
You can
sorry.
tell it's an important one because it's got an exclamation mark on the end of the...
The only exclamation marked title in Anderson, possibly.
Well, I don't know about Anderson. I don't know. That's a pretty bold statement.
Well,
that's a pub quiz question.
We'll have to investigate that.
Yes.
To be investigated.
Yes. But a real-life alligator...
Yeah, that looks lovely.
On a beautiful swamp set. It's the sets on this one are just gorgeous throughout. It's a great showcase for what the team were capable of doing at this point.
Oh, look at the smoke on the water.
Yeah. And also just the idea of being a puppeteer while the boat's moving along, having to keep in step with the puppet so it doesn't get dragged out.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, technical nightmare this. With
Yeah,
real
also
live
looking
animals.
like he's still steering the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gee, just take a look at that one.
Oh, yeah. Make a nice handbag.
Take a pot shot at one of these brutes.
I wouldn't recommend that, Mr. Blackman.
There's a nice David Graham character for us.
Great.
Yes. There's a lot of... I'm not sure what the tropes in this one are. It's not... there's kind of some old horror cliche tropes at work here, like the creepy housekeeper.
Mrs. Danvers.
Yeah,
Yes, the sinister boatman.
Yeah.
But it's, as we covered, I think, in some Fab Facts, when those were still allowed.
Before the Fab Facts ban.
Exactly.
Before it was cancelled.
You cruel pair. There was a kind of era of these larger-than-life animals in the kind of mid-60s.
Yes. And there were quite a few films like that for the 50s.
Ants.
Yeah. Ants,
Yes. Yeah.
Various lizards and things.
Yes.
Became a big thing.
This is some backwater.
And even in the 70s, this was rewritten as an episode of The New Avengers with a giant rat.
Great.
Which isn't as successful as this one.
How the heck I let myself get talked into coming up this neck of the woods?
But right now, all the alligators are normal size.
Normal size alligators.
Normal
yeah.
size in inverted commas. All played by baby crocodiles.
Yes. And speaking of people who are playing things, the passenger in the boat here is voiced by John Tate.
John Tate.
John Tate,
Ah,
father of
Well,
Nick
well,
Tate.
Alan Tate.
yes, Alan Tate.
Alan Tate.
As I call him.
That's
Okay,
how
that's
he
fine.
likes to be known.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, this set. It's just beautiful.
This
That the
is-
muck in the water
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look, there's a nice touch that they didn't need to go to all the trouble of incorporating.
Hi there. Mr. Blackmer? Right. And you're Orchard. This is Hector McGill.
That's a hell of a goatee he's got there.
Now, I'd appreciate it.
Hector McGill.
If you could get this business over with as soon as possible. You, wait here.
They've all got lovely manes of hair.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous.
Isn't he?
Otherwise, you'd never get back to the river station, would you?
Ooh, none of that lip.
Oh, insolence.
Of yours up this stretch of river, and that's it.
I do like a nice Nehru collar on a puppet.
Oh, there's the headline for this
yes.
episode.
Let's get this thing over with.
Yeah, the stock footage bits in Thunderbirds always jar for me.
Yeah. Yes, there's the shot of an owl that turns up in a few episodes. And it's like...
And the safari animals in
Oh, yes,
Bit of
in Bit of
Peril,
Peril, yeah.
Sky shot there, all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Does it jar because we're asked to believe in those moments that these real animals exist in a world where there are puppets as humans?
For me, I think it's just the different quality of the
quality,
film.
Ah.
Yeah, it's obviously come from like a nature film from the 30s or something.
I see.
Over there, in that cabin.
It does all look so beautiful, though. It's the smoothness of that panel beneath the glass there.
You recognize them? Yeah.
And this is, I think, episode 24 of 26 in the first season, so they're coming to the end. And they seem to have decided we're going to go out on a high in terms of both story and production, rather than just say, okay, we'll just sort of peter out.
Yes, yeah.
In this laboratory within hours of being picked. Blackmer, it has properties that will astound you.
There's almost some fourth wall breaking going on with that one there.
Yeah.
But it's nice, really nice. Nefarious, stringy thrums.
Naughty boatman.
Naughty boatman. This is character name.
You are aware, Blackmer, The world is heading for a grave food shortage.
I need to do some exposition for someone to overhear.
As you know, I'll tell you everything you already know.
I'm going to start eating this.
Eating plants? What's wrong with you, man?
You'll be telling us to eat vegetables next.
Juices that it is collecting can be used as an additive to the diet of the livestock of the world and could develop animals that would enlarge our meat output fantastically.
I see what's going to happen here.
It could increase the meat output of the Argentine tenfold. Now you will appreciate the secrecy we had to resort to.
Yeah, that's why we've got an open grill.
Yeah.
So anyone can just eavesdrop.
Did you hear all right out there?
You won't tell anyone, will you?
Better put the theremin away for the day.
The theremin?
Theremin, yes.
What the...
Every good scientist
Put it in a
stores their
cupboard,
open
yes.
flasks in a cupboard.
Yes. And all
Nothing.
you need is one loose fly to be in there, sits down, has a drink, and then in a few seconds you've got a problem.
Great.
These rabbits were imported from North America last year.
Oh, yeah.
This is Bugs. And,
Jessica. Any more famous rabbits we can think of?
Famous rabbits? That's a good question. Are there only
Roger.
two?
Roger, of course. Someone was,
Buster.
people in the world screaming now on trains and cars.
I'll be... Say, that's some lettuce you've been feeding them with.
These rabbits have been given only one dose of the drug. Otherwise, they've been fed normally.
Wow. One dose.
Big old rabbits.
Of our new discovery. Has it commercial possibilities, would you say? Absolutely.
And speaking of giant animal movies, in the early 70s there was a giant killer bunny rabbits movie.
What's that?
There was, yes.
What's it called?
Night of the Lepus. Starring Janet Leigh and DeForest Kelly.
Oh
So if
my
you ever want to see
God.
Dr. McCoy fighting giant killer bunny rabbits, do yourself a favour and don't watch that film.
I mean, you know, I guess they had bills to pay.
Same stock shot there. Oh,
Suddenly.
feels very
We're
unusual
preempting, yes.
to cut immediately to a Thunderbirds launch.
Well, International Rescue have heard all this and they're like, nah, we're going to intervene
Yeah,
here before
yeah,
this
yeah.
goes too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're about to hit some. It's essentially padding for the next 5 minutes, unfortunately.
Okay.
Dangerous, is it?
Of course it's not going to be dangerous, Mother.
That's why we've launched Thunderbird 2. We never launch Thunderbird 2 if it's dangerous.
Fix the aerial mast, that's all.
Oh, well, there's nothing to worry about.
That's right.
That's right. Nothing can go wrong.
Just wait.
Just tell yourself that. Yes, this is another section of the island. We don't really see anything else of the island aside from the villa.
Really the simplest method of fixing an antenna, do you think?
Well, what would you suggest
I
instead?
don't know, climb up it?
Climb up it.
Yeah, it wasn't built for access. It was built for elaborate repair missions.
There's no chutes or elevators on this thing.
Gosh, it does suddenly have the pace of padding, doesn't it?
Yes.
FAB.
Okay, lowering now.
Lowering now.
Just so you know when you're being lowered.
In case you couldn't feel it, Alex. He's always getting lowered on things, isn't it? It's his main thing.
It does look nice and tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it steady, Virgil.
Just climb up it. Then it'd only take one of you and it'd be done in half an hour.
Yeah.
Well, remember he's a puppet. It's much easier just to lower him in from the top than
Rather
it is
than
to have
climb-
him climb
sure.
all the way
Yeah.
up. But
Yeah.
also, it establishes that he's a bit of a daredevil and a bit of a risk taker,
I see.
which slightly comes into play in the second half of the episode, but not really.
As Alan gets blown off by Thunderbird 2's downward jet.
I bet it's pretty windy up there.
Pardon?
Yeah, well, the flag
Is
does
he
a
having a
great
wee?
job there.
Is he having a wee?
I don't think that's going to fix the thing.
Trouble, Father. It's going to be a sin.
No, that's why he had to go and fix it in the first place. Someone else has been up there.
Some of the junction plates on the leads from dish number 7 have got corroded. That's all.
How long will it take you to fix it?
No time at all. Tell Virgil to make one trip around the island, and I'll be ready for him to pick me up.
Easy fix.
Yeah.
That was good, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? Wow.
Would that have been as effective without all the slow build up there?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you just sort of,
Latch yourself on. I was going to say earlier, he should have sorted that when he arrived.
Health and safety.
Calling Thunderbird 5. Base to Thunderbird 5.
Hello?
They're out of contact with John.
Anyone there?
They can't hear all those calls for help.
Oh, dear.
Oh dear, that means we're out of touch with John.
Thank you for explaining that, Grandma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lucky you were here.
John in the space station.
I thought you said a moment ago there was nothing to worry about.
Stop yelling at me, Mother. Just leave me alone.
Oh.
Aye.
There we go.
Go ahead, John.
Gee, Dad, am I glad to be back in touch. What happened?
It was corrosion on the junction plates of one of the dishes of the beacon. Alan must just this moment have fixed it. It's certainly good to know we're back in business again.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
So that's
5
that.
minutes we'll never get back.
Yep, that's that cul-de-sac gone. Yeah. Yeah.
It gave him something to
definitely
do.
padding.
Yeah.
It
Gave
doesn't-
some time to cut away.
It doesn't come into play at any point.
No. Hey ho. It'd been interesting if they'd made that a thread that, a call was building
Yes.
to come out and
Yes.
they couldn't, they weren't in
Yeah.
touch. Well, they're going to
That's
make
right,
it in time.
exactly.
Whereas
something.
this kind of padding works much better, where we just get to enjoy
Well, it's beautiful.
the wonderful set. And
It's-
sound design as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's incredibly atmospheric, isn't it? Sets up all this stuff.
I mean, look at the rain. How are they doing the rain in the studio? It's
Yeah.
Watering can.
watering can, yes.
Yes.
Just the attention to detail and the
Creepy
atmosphere.
housekeeper. Oh.
Oh, excuse me.
Will that be all, sir?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Files. You've locked everything up?
I have. And I have put Mr. Blackmare's things in the guest bedroom.
Don't trust her.
Oh, no? You don't trust her? You think she's a bit sinister?
Something about her says sinister.
Yes. Sinister eyebrows.
A night like this, well, he would never have got back to the river station in a storm like this. What about the boatman? You mean, Culp?
Oh, we've given him a brolly.
That's the exact same setup that we use in this room for the Gerry Anderson podcast.
Yes, without tea though.
Yes.
Well, I've got coffee.
Yeah.
I've got
You're
coffee.
all right, yeah.
She admits to.
They say he was an associate of the previous owner of the house, Lopez. Mrs. Files was housekeeper then, too.
Honest?
Before he disappeared in mysterious circumstances on Friday the 13th.
Oh.
That's not looking good, is it?
Oh, is this where Del Boy and Rodney hallucinated it?
Must fix him sometime.
They're very blasé about the fact that they live in a haunted-looking house. Oh. But who could this be?
Let's just sit there passively and wait and find
Well,
out.
why not?
It has got a lot of kind of horror movie
Absolutely.
vibe to it,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
So nicely done.
I mean, some of it is almost like they just wanted to do an episode with that kind of stuff in.
Yeah.
Get those iconic shots in, like this next shot coming up. Just the figure at the top of the stairs for no reason.
Yeah.
Why, Mrs. Files, I thought you had turned in for the night.
I thought...
Turned into what?
It wasn't 40 seconds ago.
I just thought I'd stand here and be creepy for a while.
Mrs. Files, we shan't be going into the lab tonight. You look after them, as usual.
Very well, sir. Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Files.
Good night, Mrs. Files.
I hope you sleep well. I really care about you. Oh. Well, you can't
Naughty
really
man.
blame him, considering the weather outside.
Absolutely, I'd do the same if I was a creepy boatman.
They don't care about him.
Sneak straight in there. That was a nice new hat on the wall as well to
Yes.
replace his rubbish straw one.
Yes.
Look at the moon.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's stark, isn't it?
Well, that was quite
worked.
nice.
It worked
as
more
stock
because of
goes.
the atmospheric and the darkness, but
Yeah.
lovely sounds. I feel like I'm there,
Yeah.
wading in a swamp.
Nice.
Lovely detail of
Yeah.
mosquito nets.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't need to do that, did they?
No.
Imagine the scale of a puppet mosquito. But how big would that be? Tiny.
Yes.
It is surprising, actually, though, that you don't ever see a full-size fly ever accidentally get onto the puppet stage and making a nuisance of itself.
There must be one somewhere.
Somewhere, but it'd be quite noticeable.
Yeah. Podsterons, have you spotted a real fly? Perhaps even a Drosophila? Do let us know.
Yeah.
If we get an email about Drosophilas now, I'll be surprised. She should put those keys away more securely.
Oh, no.
Oh.
That's quite an effective way of showing a puppet walking in without showing a puppet at all.
Yeah.
Puppet creeping's tough to do.
Yeah. And of course, with everyone in bed, we need to leave all our flasks of chemicals bubbling away overnight. It's vitally important, yes.
No problem. Oh, yes.
Hang on, we saw this earlier.
Yeah.
He's obviously thirsty. Lovely glass of green juice.
No combination, no lock.
No.
No.
Cute bunnies, though.
It's very much on the honour system. Oh, bunnies. Oh, big bunny.
Yes, we're going from no live animals in Thunderbird stuff to crocs and bunnies.
Crocs and bunnies.
Oh.
Oh, this is ambitious.
Right, so what have we got there?
That must have been a nightmare trying to get the puppet to do that.
You can sense the full puppeteer working those arms, but you don't really notice.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Because normally they would have cut to human hands doing that, so that was quite something. Oh
no. Ah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, it's only gone down the drain.
Yeah.
Of course, like any good lab, that will actually go into a safe drain away rather than...
Remember, this is the world of Thunderbirds.
Yes, it would. No, but it wouldn't. They wouldn't be as careless as to have that wastewater go anywhere else, would they?
Oh, and again.
It's very impressive.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember a few months ago I was watching a Fireball XL5 and Steve Zodiac was pouring tea from a teapot and it was just like, get in there, tea. I'm not even looking. The eyeline's all wrong. And it was just, it's come on so far. So we've replaced the theremin.
With some other fluid.
With some,
Oh.
Not seen as dramatic a shot of a sink since Planet of Giants from Doctor Who.
Very dramatic sink work.
Yes. Now, is that... I believe that was a model alligator that I believe was up for auction a few months ago. Yes. It's morning in this one.
Yeah. What have we established? One dose.
Yes.
Is enough.
Yeah.
One dose.
Oh, one drop.
Make big bunnies.
Yeah.
Yeah. What could possibly happen / go wrong now?
Yeah.
More atmosphere. Lovely.
Well, thanks, Doctor, for the hospitality. I'll be seeing you. So you don't regret your journey after all, Mr. Blackburn? Certainly not. I'm going to get this theramine on the market as soon as possible. I'll be sending Muller, my top research man, down to see you right away. All right, Colt. Let's get going.
Yes, sir, Mr. Blackburn.
That insolence is straight back again.
Yeah. Hang on a minute.
That's strange.
Hmm.
This has been tampered with. This is not theramine. This is files.
No. Yes, he had more important things to do than see off their backer.
And to check on the theremin.
It's just occurred to me that Mrs. Fowle said she put his things in the guest room, and he's now leaving with no bags.
With no things.
He's left his things behind. But more importantly, we've got some giant alligators.
Now, are these the same alligators we saw earlier, but just on an adjusted set?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I assume so.
Yeah.
There's no reason to think otherwise.
Yeah.
You can see the challenge of filming them there, though, straight away. Must have been an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's so many stories floating around about the production of this one.
Hey, take it easy, Cub. Quit rocking the boat. It wasn't.
Oh, he has got his bag there now, has he?
The heck was it, man?
He doesn't seem to have that rifle that he had earlier.
No.
That's it.
Yeah. That's what we'd be doing.
I was given one to stand that this laboratory was locked up as usual last night.
It was locked, sir.
And then I left the keys on the bedside table.
Of course, we never lock the cupboard that the stuff goes into. That would be silly.
This is terrible. That drug could have horrible consequences if it got into the wrong hands.
Or the wrong swamp.
Orchard, take a look at that.
Look at it.
The theremin has got into the swamp. Those men don't stand a chance.
Oh, no. The splash is great. Oh, no. Splish splash.
I love that. Ye gods, they've been hit. And their roast is ruined. Oh, this is great.
Very dramatic. Just so nicely done, all of it.
But the ambition of it as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, it's pre-Jaws.
Aha.
It's the sort of thing that, again, after Jaws came along, so many people are trying to ape that.
Yes.
And we have a scenario here that predates all of that.
Yes.
Is that really the quickest that boat goes?
Well, you can't really, you can't really be picky.
Yes, I can.
Well, I suppose you can. You always can. I do wonder, actually, if the seed of the idea for this one was to do another shrinking episode similar to the ones they'd done on Stingray and XL5 and previous, if they were looking for some way to make the puppets small or put them in a bigger environment, and then somehow this came out as a result of that, which I think works much better than just shrinking the puppets again.
Yeah, it's much better. It's much more effective.
Oh, come on.
Hurry!
Blackman, they're being very passive about being rescued.
Oh, this is the worst day of my life.
That's so sinister, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh.
Whoops.
There you go. Quick.
Oh, it's the fact that they're everywhere as well.
Yeah.
They're all around us.
Nice sweaty run. This is a great pursuit, this.
Yeah.
That's a great look.
Quick look behind.
There's just so many nice touches where you can see
Am I going
the...
too fast for you?
This lightly slatted door will keep them out.
Yeah. And although she looks sinister, she's not.
No.
She's a good egg.
Yeah.
Just lacking any skill and security.
Yeah.
They got in the side entrance.
We have a side entrance?
This place is
It's like a sieve.
like
full of nooks and
anti-Fort
crannies,
Knox.
yes.
Yeah. Even the creature sounds add so much to it.
And the banging against
Yes.
the door.
Where can we go?
It's that amazing integration of the model stuff and the puppet stuff with that simple effect.
Attack of of the Alligators Part 1.
That was very enjoyable.
More to come next week.
Very
I have a
enjoyable.
question about that. So obviously, if you have a collection of real baby alligators on set, they're pretty much going to do whatever they want, aren't they?
Yeah.
You would try and coax them and.
The story is that the studio lights was making them fall asleep.
Oh, right.
So it was quite difficult to get them to do anything at certain points. Yeah.
I did wonder whether they would let them do what they want and then build a scene around that, if you see what I mean. Was that the case? Maybe get them in a day or two earlier, get them to wander about, and then say, okay, now we can do inside the house there because we have a shot of the alligator outside the house.
There must have been some room for the alligators to improvise, I would have thought. Or the crocodiles, rather. Yeah.
Yes, the crocs.
That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, we've had on before, it was Peter Holmes, wasn't it? I think we've had on the podcast, the archive recording, talking about the shocking story.
Yes,
I see.
Which got them a visit from the RSPCA.
Not surprised.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. None of that here on the Gerry Anderson podcast.
We don't need it, do we?
No.
We're all so alert.
We're never shocked.
Nobody's falling asleep under the studio lights here.
Anyway, so we'll save our marks out of 5 for next week.
I can feel a big score coming on. I really can.
But in the meantime, Podsterons, why not comment beneath this video and let us know what you think of the story so far? Is it a favourite of yours? Have you ever seen it before? Tell us what you think. And don't forget to email us at podcast@gerryanderson.com with your thoughts, comments, reviews, birthday stories, merch you've found or bought.
Stories of incredible partners doing amazing stuff for you when you're a bit of a failure.
Do you have a Lavinia at home?
Sorry, that was a bit cruel. I didn't mean that, Jeff. I mean that in the most lovely way possible.
I think we better leave that there before we get into more trouble.
Yeah, all right.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's get started. Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
So what's scarier animals than alligators, do we think?
Well,
could be?
sharks have obviously got to be up there.
Sharks, yeah.
Even like tarantulas.
Tarantulas, that would have been
giant tarantulas.
They would have worked in a Thunderbirds
Yeah,
episode,
they would have worked.
I can see those over at Derek Medding's Model City or something.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
Oh, that's a great idea.
What else? What about not so scary?
Hamsters.
Yeah.
Attack of the Hamsters. Just sitting there washing themselves and hoarding nuts.
Squirrels. Yeah.
Squirrels, yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see a giant squirrel.
Yeah. Or a hedgehog.
Oh. Yeah. What?
Giant hedgehog.
Well, I suppose you could use it for a toothpick.
Yeah, well, you couldn't get close to it, could you? It's defensive, you see.
Yeah. The porcupine. I think you have to do.
Yeah.
Peril of the Porcupines.
I like that. Yes.
There's another book in this,
Well,
off he
part
goes.
of our Thunderbirds 60th anniversary saga next year.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Something to look forward to.
Stand by for porcupines.
See you next week.
Bye.
That was an Anderson Entertainment production.